Motivation is vital to achieving any goal and becoming successful in life. Nonetheless, it's a tricky psychological subject. Sometimes it's there pushing you to achieve great things and be productive, while others it hides behind the corner, leaving you dry and hopeless. To cultivate motivation, it is vital to be clear on what it actually depends on. Probably no one better than Angela Duckworth to answer this. The American psychologist, professor,
that what we need in education is a much better understanding of students and learning from a motivational perspective.
The author of the New York Times bestseller Grit, the book that completely transformed my outlook on motivation. Motivation is quite a complex psychological phenomenon. It's quite tricky to pinpoint what affects it. See, there are days where we feel very motivated and empowered to go and strive in the world. We feel very energetic, we want to get up in the morning and go hunt our goals. And there are these other days where we feel very hopeless or helpless. These periods of extended unmotivation where we wake up and we really lack the energy or the desire to do things. But why? Well, not being motivated to do certain stuff isn't an excuse to not work hard. We definitely got it mixed on how motivation works. Many people lack motivation due to a lack of clarity. They don't have specific enough goals, they don't have a clear picture of what they want, and so it's quite hard to strategize. We're very broad and abstract, and a lot of things are pulling us in different directions. There is not a set of directed attention towards a very specific goal, and so the more abstract we are, the less motivated we can feel because we don't know what we're actually going for. This is partially hard because what does success really mean, or what makes us happy? It's not an easy question to answer. It's very subjective, very individual, and a lot of trial and error and a lot of self-introspection goes into it. We'll look at a few points in this book to help you clarify this. But first of all, let me lead with the question. What is grit? Small loose of particles of stone and sand. Nope. Courage and resolve. Strength of character. A bit closer. Grit is passion and perseverance for the long-term and meaningful goals. Yes. You've probably heard 100 times that if you're passionate, if you follow your passion, you're going to be very successful in your career. Well, there are dozens of passionate people, they have a ton of creative ideas, but there is an element that lacks, and that is execution. Angela Duckworth's quote sums this all up, saying, "Enthusiasm is common, endurance is rare." And contrary to popular beliefs, in my opinion, enthusiasm is not enough. We need to be able to execute and persevere. During that path of execution, a lot of little problems pop out. And we need to proactively seek ways to solve this problem, and through that whole process, we improve and become better human beings. We become more efficient at our work, and we build the needed skill to get to a higher level. That's perseverance. The ability to sustain, the ability to endure, and to push for a better future. Being only passionate, you're full of ideas and very creative, but they're most likely not going to be executed in the world. Being only perseverant will most likely be a dry way to live because you're only doing repetitive tasks, which doesn't really bring a lot of pleasure, joy, satisfaction to you because there's not much of meaning behind. When you combine both together, find something you're very passionate about, and you're able to endure through the difficult tasks, you have what's called grit. Enough of that, let's see what really transformed my motivation. This represents the goal hierarchy. There's low-level goals like everyday tasks that you do that serve the midterm goals that serve the ultimate largest goal. The point here is context. You're willing to switch the low-level goals if you find they don't serve your ultimate purpose anymore. For motivation to grow, you need clarity first and alignment second. Goal hierarchy. Although it looks very simple and very straightforward, guys, this is of extreme importance. Most of the happiest, most fulfilled and successful high achievers I know of have one thing in common, and that's alignment. Their goals and values are very aligned. Also, there needs to be alignment between the low-level goals, which are the daily tasks you do, with the mid goals and the higher, ultimate, most important goals. Any unnecessary tasks you do in between that do not serve the future version of you that you want to be are completely worthless and you should eliminate them. It is sort of like a goal-setting minimalism in a way, to really understand what things are the most important and are serving what's in your greatest interest. Alignment is a game changer. Find the structure that works for you and stop doing things that are unnecessary and don't lead to the future version of you want to be. Next thing is about adopting a growth mindset. And you might cringe at this because you might think, oh, I've heard it a lot of times, fixed versus growth mindset. But yes, I think we still hold a lot of self-limiting beliefs. Like, how many of us think we need to work more to earn more money? Very not true. How many of us think we can't read a full book in a day? Very not true. And this concept was brought up by Carol Dweck, the author of Mindset, who compares how fixed mindset and growth mindset actually work in the real world and which people are most successful. So he's gone on a series of experiments to prove that how believing you can learn is essential prerequisite to learning more. Mostly in children, it wasn't the IQ scores that dictated who was going to have the higher grades, but the children that believed they can learn more were actually the ones that did. Because think about it, it's a necessary prerequisite to think that you can do something so that you can actually put in the effort to do it. So in a way, the approach towards something was quite different, and the approach of people with the growth mindset who believed their skills are unlimited and they can learn and they can have higher grades or higher income, they actually approached things in a very different way, leading to a more successful life, career, higher grades, etc. This gives you control because if you think you're fixed on an entity like an IQ, it's like it doesn't depend on you how much you learn, but on your IQ score. Whereas if you approach life with you being the one who's responsible about learning things like a new instrument, you're going to take a much different approach and you're going to be much more focused and directed in it because you believe you can actually do it. Because why would you work hard if you cannot change the outcome? With a fixed mindset, that's how people think. So let's see what's all the fuss about. A growth mindset is the belief that intelligence, skills, and abilities can be developed and improved over time through effort, hard work, and dedication. People with a growth mindset tend to embrace challenges, persist in the face of setbacks, and view failures as opportunities for learning and growth. A fixed mindset is the belief that intelligence, skills, and abilities are innate and unchangeable. People with a fixed mindset tend to avoid challenges, give up easily when faced with obstacles, and view failures as a reflection of their abilities rather than an opportunity for growth. One of the greatest misconceptions is that we should wait for motivation to just magically show up. Wait for motivation to strike and then focus on your passion. But life doesn't work that way. Motivation doesn't just pop out. We develop it. We are the ones who stimulate motivation. Waiting for motivation to strike is a very ineffective way to live, partially because during our work in the craft that we want to develop in, that's where motivation kicks in and inspiration comes. We shall take action first and dive into the world, explore, learn, create, do stuff that we want to do because actually doing the thing brings a lot more result and a lot of different ideas on how you could develop later on. We need to develop this skill to a degree to be able to enjoy the dance of improvement. Think of running, of basketball, of chess. Did you really enjoy it the first time you did it? Probably not. It takes years of investment, energy, and effort so you can become that good at it so you can play. But you need to master it first. Action comes first, motivation second. It's a simple but powerful truth that can transform the way we approach life's challenges. When we wait for motivation to strike before taking action, we can find ourselves stuck in a cycle of procrastination and self-doubt. But when we take action first, we create a momentum that propels us forward and ignites our motivation from within. Suddenly, ideas pop up. New vision starts to develop. New doors open up. It's during the dance of work itself that we gain those ideas, those skills, and motivation that drives achievement. I was very curious to answer the question, what makes a high achiever? What are the traits of the successful people we know of? What are the Michael Jordans and Jay-Z's and Warren Buffett's of the world different in? Are they just super intelligent, lucky, and rich, or it was more that they work very hard, they have the passion and perseverance? Well, while it's hard to quantify that, and I think each one contributes a bit, the book goes on to outline the top 3 traits of high achievers, and I do agree with this. The first one is interest, the curiosity to know more and do more, the burning passion to explore and see where the journey takes you, the capacity to work. The greats have huge capacity to endure long hours of working repetitive tasks before they can see a reward. Third one is purpose. They believe in something bigger than them. They have a very strong why, in other words. The logistics like money, success, and fame cannot add up so much so that they will push you so far. There has to be something greater, something deeper that comes from within. Highly recommend you to check out this book, Grit by Angela Duckworth. Read it, take notes, it's quite transformative. So I've outlined a 5 action step plan for you to go quickly throughout to get the most out of this. First one is find your purpose. This is probably the longest step because it's going to take some time to clarify your vision. Then clarify your objectives and your main goal. What are you striving towards? Third, build your goal structure from low level to the ultimate biggest level and align your values with it. Fourth, take action today and don't wait for motivation to start. Fifth, adopt a growth mindset. You can do anything. High achievers, until next time. Bye.